Hello. Let me know whether you can hear me, see me, and hear me. So let me know whether you can hear me. And if yes, we can get started. Today I'm going to show you how I practice the G major scale on a violin. You can practice just one octave if you're a total beginner by starting with an open G string. This is one octave, and then go back. Or you can practice two octaves. And then go back. You could also practice two octaves, but play all the notes in the first position, which would sound like this if you play legato. You could also expand the scale and go higher. Here we go into the third position. And here we go up and up again and again. That would be 4 octaves. You could also practice just 3 octaves. And then go back. Good morning. I'm glad you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. So we're practicing the G major scale. And now we're going to play the 4 octaves again, which means that we're going up here into the third position, and then we go up again into the 6th position, and then up again, and one more time in order to play 4 octaves. So at the beginning, you play, or I play, just one note at a time. Try to produce a very juicy sound by using the whole bow and not pressing, not too much pressure, okay? Just use the natural weight of the bow and just enjoy your sound. And make sure you really are using all the bow. Go all the way up to the frog and all the way, or down to the frog and up to the tip of your bow. So that's number 1. Then I play two legato, and again I use the whole bow, which means I use half of the bow for each note. And so on. Then I play full legato, which means I play faster and use only 1/4 of the bow for each note. Then the next thing I do is I play 8 legato, which means it's faster again, and we use less bow for each note. Try to make sure that you have even bow distribution, which means you have equal amounts of equal amounts of a bow for each note. And so that it doesn't sound like this. Yeah, so equal amount of bow for each note would sound like this. If you're not sure exactly how to do it, just try to calculate 4 notes, just 4 notes for the half of the bow, and then the next 4, the next half of the bow. It's a math exercise as well. And again, make sure you use your whole bow, yeah, not just, but from the frog until the tip. Okay, it gives you a juicier sound. And so on, and then you keep speeding up, or I keep speeding up. That was 16 notes on one bow, right? Did you count them? And now we'll try to use the whole bow for going up and up bow going back. Okay, so let's try that. And here you can go as slow or as fast as you want. If you go too slow, you might not have enough bow. So that's what it sounds like when you play too slow. Okay, so I have to speed up a little bit if you want to go up all the scale on the down bow. Yeah. And you can also play the minor. Usually we play the melodic minor in classical music when we practice the scales. It makes it more difficult, more complex, because when we go up, the 6th and 7th go up, and then when we go down, they go down, which sounds like this. Okay, so it makes it more difficult and more fun to practice, of course. Then we practice the broken chords, the arpeggio. Again, you can do just down and up bow, then you can do 2 legato or 3 legato. And then 6 on one bow. And so on. And all this time we haven't talked about the most important thing. The most important thing when we're practicing skills is the intonation. Of course, we work on the intonation. Hello, welcome to the scale practicing session, G major scale. So the intonation is the most important thing. That's why if you hear a wrong note, if you think you're playing too low or too flat or too high, you always correct. I always correct the notes right away. So you just have to. If you noticed the second finger was too low, try it again. And put it higher this time and try again. And when we work on the intonation, we always practice very, very slowly and without any vibrato. Because the vibrato, you could actually correct your intonation with a vibrato, but it's a very unreliable tool because it corrects it for perhaps for 1 second and then distorts the sound again. So that's why practicing without vibrato is key when you're working on the intonation. Yeah, and remember, 2 things. Practice very, very slowly, listening to each note, correcting each note, really taking your time, correcting each note, and not using any vibrato. So it's always sense of vibrato when I practice scales. And so now we were playing the arpeggio. Make sure that all the shifts are smooth. Yeah, we're moving with very, very smooth movements, going up with very smooth movements, going down with very smooth movements. It's never a jump. Okay. Then we can play the minor. And here again, if you notice that your shift wasn't in tune, you can just practice it. We always shift with the whole arm. Yeah, it's never the finger or the wrist, it's the whole arm. The fingers are just there. So that's how we practice the shift. You can slow down a little bit. Okay, And then you can also practice double stops. Thirds, for example. And so on. And then back. This was in first and third positions. You can also switch to second and fourth positions. And again, practice the intonation, work on the intonation. Usually when we practice double stops, it's very important to listen to the lower note, and then it's easier to hear whether you're playing in tune or not. Also, another way of practicing double stops is by playing single notes while putting both strings, both fingers on strings. It sounds like this. That way you can correct the wrong note, yeah? Work on your intonation. And then do the same thing while playing the upper note. Yeah, but you put both fingers on strings. And then when you're ready, play both notes. And here again, you can play single bows, separate bows, or you can play legato, two legato. And then when you're ready, when you practice really well, then you can play four legato. And then 8 legato. You have to play a little bit faster so that you have enough bow. Right now I played it was too slow. A lot to practice here. Yeah, so if you notice it wasn't quite in tune, you just slow down again and practice it. Double stop after double stop. And listen carefully. And if it wasn't in tune, we'll go back. And just practice one shift, for example. Or just play single notes, but use both fingers. Yeah, so that's how we work on the intonation. And then when you're ready, you just speed up. You could also try all kinds of different rhythms, for example. Or the other way around. could practice sixths, which goes like this. Here you can try all kinds of different fingerings. For example, stay in the first position and then shift. So that you're only using your second, third, and fourth fingers. If you're not sure whether you're playing in tune or not, you can compare the note with the open A string whenever it's possible. Or try a different kind of fingering. Go into the second position here. Second and fourth. So you can either practice in the first and third or second and fourth. Or try a different combination, your own choice. There are so many possibilities. And then we practice octaves. Octaves are very important because you can hear it immediately when you play out of tune. So A and A, and then we shift. Practice the shift very smoothly. So we basically let go of the pressure, slide, and then press down the strings again. Again, remember not to use any vibrato at all when you're practicing your scales because you're working on the intonation. And practice very, very slowly so that you can hear each note. In case it's out of tune, then you can correct it. You have time to correct it. And then we have different kind of octaves for all the advanced and professional violinists. We have what is called fingered octaves. So we basically stretch our fingers. We start with an open string and a stretched second finger. It's basically, it's like in a second position, but your arm is actually in the first position. And then we have 1 and 3 for the next octave. And then we have 2 and 4 for the next one. That's fingered octaves. And then we're going to the third position, and then we have 1 and 3. And then 2 and 4 again. If you're not familiar with them, then don't practice too many of them. Just start with 1 or 2 because you need to be very, very flexible. So remember to work on stretching your skin between the fingers, and then you'll be ready for fingered octaves. Start slowly and start small with 1 or 2, and then take it from there. And then if you're advanced, of course, you can try all kinds of different fingerings. Here you can go up into the second position and then into the fourth, and again second, and then fourth, and always note and correct the notes if necessary. You can also compare the A with open A string, of course. So practicing very, very slowly, working on the intonation without using any vibrato is important. And when you're ready, you can try all kinds of bowings. You can try 2, 4, 8 legato and so on. And then we have tenths. Have you ever tried playing tenths? It's basically like playing thirds, but 1 octave higher. The way we play tenths is we basically stretch our first finger back. So we start in a third position. This is open G string and a B on the D string. And the next one is first finger on a G string and fourth finger on a D string. But the first finger is stretching back. It's not the other way around. Yeah. So that's a very important thing to know about tenths. It's always the first finger that's stretched back, and we are actually in the position where the fourth finger is. So we start in a third position, then go into the fourth, fifth, and so on. Or into the, we're going to the first position again. So it's basically third position, fourth, fifth, where your fourth finger is, and then first, which is actually third position, fourth, fifth, sixth. Am I actually right? I'm not telling you the truth. So we play 2 in a third position. That's where the confusion comes from. So 2 of them are in a third position, then fourth position, fifth position. It's a little bit confusing because you might think that the position is where your first finger is, but actually it's where your fourth finger is. Fourth position, fifth position, and then first again. Yeah. So again, if you're completely new to playing tenths or practicing tenths, then just practice 1 or 2 and basically work on stretching the skin between your fingers. That way you will be ready. You will be ready to play tenths without any pain. Yeah, because it's a very unusual movement for beginners. So if you're not used to it, work on stretching the skin between your fingers here. Become very flexible, and then you will be ready to play any double stops in any intervals of your choice. Okay, so this is how we practice, or how I practice the G major scale. It's the more you practice your scales and the more thorough you are, the easier it becomes to play anything you want to play. Yeah, your fingers become flexible, and you're warmed up and you're ready to go. And I remember at one time in my life, I've been practicing scales for hours. There's a great book by Carl Flesch. He wrote all those scales just the way I showed you, more or less. So practicing all those double stops on a daily basis and really making sure you play in tune. So I practiced them on a daily basis for hours. And I was also playing other pieces. I was playing Paganini and Saint-Saëns, the concerto and everything. And I remember I didn't have to work on the pieces as much anymore because my fingers felt so confident. I felt like so warmed up, and very, very confident. Of course, I practiced the other things as well, but not as much as I was practicing them before. So if you focus on practicing scales on a daily basis, miracles happen, I'm telling you. Total miracles happen. And if you know Heifetz, Jascha Heifetz, he practiced scales on a daily basis. And I mean, his technique is phenomenal. Yeah, his fingers are very fast, and he was an amazing violinist. So now you know the secret. If you want to play really well technically, and you want to play in tune, you want to have flexible and fast fingers, the secret is to practice scales on a daily basis, and you can make it fun. It's a lot of fun because you can experiment so much. You can create your own rhythms, you can create your own bowings, you can do a lot of new things which have never been done before, perhaps even. You come up with your own new, unique idea of how to practice scales and how to make your fingers fast and flexible and always feel confident, whatever you play. Okay, I hope this was helpful. I'll put the link for the sheet music for the G major scale into the description box. Also, you can send me your requests on my Patreon page if you have any, and you can download tons of sheet music there. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Take care, and I'll see you again soon. Mwah.